Hi Taurus, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your February 2022 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, the Celtic Coral spread as always, and also both the Oracle cards and a Mudra card for you guys. We're actually going to start the reading off by rolling those astrology dice we have in front of us to get an idea of where your focus will be as far as that goes. Let's see what we get. Okay, we have Capricorn energy. So this is actually, for you guys, that's your 9th house of higher learning, philosophy, foreign affairs. And as far as astrologically speaking, plenty going on there. At the time of recording this, we have that Venus retrograde. The Mercury retrograde just started. It's going to be moving into Capricorn as well. What else do we have going on? Obviously, Pluto's still there. So yeah, tons of energy going on there. So it would make sense that that's a focus for you. All right, we also have Mars, and Mars actually, speaking of which, Mars will be in Capricorn for all of February as well. So even more energy to add to the mix there. And we have 7. So 7th house for you guys, that's Scorpio, and that's the house of partnerships, contracts, relationships. All right, so with all that out of the way, we'll get started. All right. In the main situation position, we have the 8 of Wands. So this is actually Sagittarius energy here. And primarily, I feel like what this is saying is there could just be a lot of activity going on around you guys. Probably a lot of communication, a lot of back and forth. For a lot of you, I feel like this might be related more to work than anything else, but that's what I'm seeing there. It looks like a lot of action and movement going on at this time. All right. In the challenge or obstacle position, we have the 7 of Pentacles and the Fool. So the 7 of Pentacles energy is actually, for you guys, that's actually a Taurus energy. So this could just be really pointing to you, saying that at the current time, you might be feeling a bit overwhelmed by the work that is going on, or whatever this is going on in your environment, and considering whether you want to continue down that path or possibly start something new altogether. So that could be a bit of the push-pull dynamic that you guys are feeling, so I feel like it's not that there's a lack of activity there, right? It looks like there's plenty going on, but I feel like this is just saying that you might have gotten to a point where you might feel like the amount of energy you're putting into something versus what you're getting back from it might be decreasing, and you just might be considering, yeah, well, should I just cut my losses and start something new altogether? Like I said, for most of you, I feel like this is coming across as more of a work thing, but it can be relationships of any kind. All right. In the foundation position, we have the 10 of Wands. So yeah, more Sagittarius energy here. And again, like I said, it feels to me like you guys might be feeling a bit overwhelmed, overburdened around a certain situation. Possibly even feeling like you've lost sight of the goal too, right? Because if we look at the way he's carrying those wands, it's not even clear if he could see in front of him, right? So could just be saying that maybe you've just been working towards something and now you're getting to that point where you might have even lost sight of what the original goal was, and that could be making you lose a little bit of motivation in the process as well. All right, the past position, we have the High Priestess in reverse. So I feel like this is saying that you might have felt a bit disconnected from your intuition in the past, or possibly at the very least felt like you couldn't trust your intuition, even if you were getting intuitive insights around certain situations. So that was part of it too. I feel like for the majority of you, again, it comes back to you were probably just feeling a bit overworked. And usually when that does happen, if there's just something in your everyday reality that's taking up so much of your energy, it can be easy to lose track of your intuition and what you're feeling emotionally. All right, present position, we have the 9 of Swords. So this is Gemini energy here. And the way this is coming across to me, given what we've been talking about, is I feel like this is primarily going to be a money concern for you guys, right? As far as, let's say, you are considering, yeah, maybe I should just cut my losses and just go down a whole different path altogether, right? But you could be thinking about the practicality of that. Like, okay, if I were to do that, I'd have to save up money for X amount of time, right? Just in case there's a gap between leaving the current place where I'm at versus getting to the new place. So yeah, again, the more I'm seeing these cards, it definitely seems like it's primarily a career-related thing for a lot of you, but you could pretty much apply that same logic to any area of life. But yeah, it's coming across more as career than anything. All right. In the near future position, we have the Six of Swords. So this is Aquarius energy here. And for you guys, that's your 10th house, career, social status. So I feel like this is saying at the very least, it would do you some good to possibly just step away from all of the chaos going on right now for a bit, even if you just take a long weekend to kind of clear your mind and really get a better idea of where you want to go next. For some of you, this could actually point to actual travel, so maybe some of you making some kind of travel plans, possibly even having to travel for work. I feel like that's a little bit less likely, but yeah, it looks like you're just going to take some time away to help restore peace. All right. And in the position of your influence in a situation, we have Temperance, so more Sagittarius energy popping up here. So yeah, I feel like at the very least, this is saying that you're on that page where you do want to restore peace and balance for yourself, if nothing else. And I feel like this is saying that that energy is definitely at play for you. And I feel like this is also saying that you might be being called to detach a little bit from the physical everyday, doing, right? And just trust a little bit more in spirit to actually lead the way for a little bit. Could be more of a temporary thing. I don't feel like that would be too long of a break that you would take. But yeah, I feel like this is saying that that could be the key to help you get rebalanced. And interesting too, if we look at their foot placement, he has one foot on the earth, which for you guys, you're an earth sign, and then one in the water. And we were talking about the high priestess in reverse. They're saying maybe you've been a bit disconnected from your intuition. So that could be pointing to that, right? Where you might find that balance where, okay, maybe you've been focused a little bit too heavily on the physical, mundane everyday, right? And losing track of that. And this could just represent you guys coming to that balance between the two this month. All right. In the position of the environment, we have the Eight of Pentacles, Virgo energy, the Five of Swords, Aquarius energy, and the Hermit, Virgo energy again. So, seeing the two Virgo energies here with the Aquarius energy, to me, again, says this is something related to work. So, what I would say is if you guys have some kind of a creative idea, right? Especially for you guys, Virgo is your fifth house. So, that could represent a lot of creativity. You have some kind of creative idea. I would be careful about who I share that idea with this month, because with that Hermit energy, I feel like that's saying that you're being called to actually keep it to yourself for the time being, especially until you might feel like you have it perfected, because the way I'm seeing these three cards playing out with this one in the middle, which is definitely the most problematic one for sure, to me represents you guys might come up with this really good idea for something and you might express to other people, hey, this is what I'm thinking of doing, and then they might actually try to steal that and take credit for it. So I feel like what it's saying to do there is just really work on it by yourself for the time being, and then when it's ready, by all means, then you could bring it out, because then you eliminate that possibility of someone being able to take the credit for the work you've done in that situation. And for some of you, this could just be saying that you might be mulling over pursuing your own career path, right? Because I always look at this energy where he's quite literally making his own money as pointing to some kind of an entrepreneurial thing. And it could just be saying that that could be what you're considering, because maybe the work environment you're in your everyday job right now, you might feel like it's an unsupportive environment where everyone's just looking out for their best interest and don't seem to care for any teamwork at all. So that's another way I can see that playing out too. All right. In the hopes or fears position, we have the Page of Wands. So yeah, to me, this is more of a hope. Even if we just look at this, this is the card that would come after the Ten of Wands energy. And if we look at the two side by side, I mean, it looks like this is a much lighter energy, right? Lightening your load at the very least to where you just have the one wand versus carrying all those 10. Looks like he's a lot more comfortable, free to move and do whatever he would want to do. So I feel like this is saying that this is what you guys are hoping for, right? To lighten your load in some way. All right. And in the outcome position, we have the Tower. So yeah, I feel like this is, again, going to what we were talking about there, just more of a thing where if you guys are feeling overwhelmed, I feel like this is just even more of an indicator that you would be called to try to take a break from whatever it is that you're feeling overwhelmed by, even if it's just temporary, because that could actually be important in helping lessen those energies. But As far as this energy coming up here, this could point to a few different things. The lunar cycles for February are going to be a bit intense for the fixed signs because we're going to have a new moon in Aquarius pretty much right in the beginning of February, and that's going to be making a square aspect with Uranus in your sign. And then we're going to have that full moon in Leo toward the end of Aquarius season. That's going to be making the square with the North Node, which is in your sign, and then the South Node in Scorpio. So those are going to be pretty intense lunar cycles, and they could definitely impact the fixed signs more than anything. So if you're looking for a time period where that could be most likely to be a tower moment, I would say those two periods right there are the ones to watch out for. But yeah, for a lot of you, I feel like this is more of a thing that if you were to look at the totality of the situation, I don't feel like it would be. I mean, the event, the tower moment itself might be sudden, but I feel like it definitely looks like it's something that's been building up for a while, right? The Ten of Wands and the foundation there for sure is one of those things that seem to point to that for me. But so I feel like if this does happen, you're not going to be too surprised by it in the long run, right? Because you might feel like, okay, this was kind of something that was bubbling up to the surface anyway. But yeah, that's what I see with that. And like I said, I feel like the key could just be to take some time away if you can. And like I said, if you're working on some kind of creative project or something like that, try to keep it to yourself for the time being until you're ready to bring it out into the public. Because seeing this card in the position of your influence shows me that you could definitely be a stabilizing force regardless of what's going on in the environment. All right, bottom of the deck we have the Seven of Cups. So Scorpio energy here, which we did see come up in your dice as well. And could just be saying that there's some confusion there, right? Maybe, again, I feel like maybe because you're just so wrapped up in day-to-day tasks that other areas of your life might have been fallen by the wayside. So another indicator, if you can, just take a few days away, and that should really help you guys hit the reset button in a positive manner. All right, so moving on to your Four Agreements card. We have be impeccable with your word. And it says manifest your true intentions. All right, so let's see what the message says. It says, regardless of what language you speak, your intent will manifest through the word. What you dream, what you feel, and what you really are will all be manifested through the word. So definitely a good message there as far as what you speak and how that actually can make you feel as well. And again, like I said, if you do have some kind of creative project, though, I do still feel like the energies here saying to try to keep that part to yourself. But yeah, could even just be saying the way you're speaking to yourself, right? Maybe if you feel like you're not at the level where you want to be at this time, because that's what that Seven of Pentacles energy could point to as well. Could just be saying that you might just need to hit the reset button temporarily and things should be fine. All right, moving on to the Wisdom Oracle card, we have Chaos and Conflict. There's the artwork, and the number is 33. So that definitely makes me think of that Five of Swords energy we see in the environment, and then, of course, the Tower possibly too. But let's see what it says. Okay, it says disarray, being at cross purposes with another, the tension of opposites, the value of chaos before order. The Oracle's message, opposing forces come together to create a turbulent atmosphere. But consider the value of chaos that serves you well as you become unmoored by it. Scattered to the winds, you leave behind the parts of yourself you no longer need and disperse seeds to reinvent yourself anew. Although the conflict appears to exist externally, its essence is also internal, projected outward and causing disarray. You may find yourself at cross purposes with someone else, facing a storm you feel you can't control. Yet every storm passes, and chaos leads to a reordering of things. Conflict provides a way to see more than one side of a situation. Look upon this as just a moment in time when you may need to take shelter and step away from the fray. Don't be too eager to fight. This is a time to understand rather than to be understood. So definitely a pretty positive message there, and definitely for sure made me think of that Six of Swords energy, but also the Temperance energy, especially if there is someone in your environment that's coming from that Five of Swords energy, right? So hopefully that resonated. The relationship message says, stubbornness is keeping you in a state of opposition. The incessant need to be right will only serve to prolong the conflict that deep down you know you want to be resolved. This is an opportune moment to learn about your values, your sense of self, what's really important to you. Some things are non-negotiable. If that's true, it's not necessary to fight. Can you find a way through the stormy emotions to higher ground? Soon the air will clear, and you will be in a much better place than before, for the storm will have passed, blazing a path for new growth in its wake. Things can become electric and enlightened, always better than before, if you use this time constructively. So again, a pretty positive message there too, and with the storm references as well, that made me think of that tower moment. So if we look at it through that lens too, I feel like this is saying that even if there is a tower moment, I don't necessarily feel like the damage would be irreparable, but obviously if you could avoid it, that would be best by taking on more of that Six of Swords energy. All right, the prosperity message says circumstances appear to be chaotic, but everything that is happening now is in truth shaking things up so you can find a real path to your prosperity. Yes, it's a stormy time, and it feels as if there are opposing forces wherever you turn. Be reassured that there is divine purpose in this chaos. Everything that doesn't work is being taken from you, so the truest parts of yourself remain. The events occurring now are essential for your ultimate prosperity. This chaos is divinely inspired, even though it doesn't appear that way now. In time, you will notice to be true. So, pretty positive message there as well, and it makes me think of the fact of what I was mentioning, that you guys have the North Node coming in your sign for the next 18 months now, and that also means the eclipses will be in your sign and Scorpio for the next 18 months, so could just be part of that growth cycle as well. All right, and lastly, we have a mudra for you guys. So this is your mudra here. It's the Chonmukha Mukha mudra, and the keyword for it is cooperation. All right, so it looks like we can't fit everything in the frame, but what I'll do is hold this up here if you want to pause it to take a screenshot to read what it has to say. Now let's move it up so we can get the rest in the frame. But under benefits, it says calms the mind, ignites feelings of devotion, balances solar and lunar energies in the body, harmonizes Apana and Prana values, used in the yoga therapy to aid cancer treatment and healing of autoimmune diseases. So if that sounds like something you think would be beneficial for you guys, I will put the name and mudra in the description below. As always, we'll wrap up there, and I'll see you guys next month. All right, bye.